Are you interested in engineering, architecture, 3D modeling and printing, or product design? Well, at West Essex High School, we have a couple courses that you might like if you're looking to get into any one of these fields in college or in the future. My name is Mr. Shea, and I'm the STEM teacher or STEAM teacher at West Essex High School. My email is tshay@westex.org. And if you'd like to find out more information about me or any of the classes that I talk about in this presentation, you can visit my website at sites.google.com/westex.org/Mr. Shea with a dash between the Mr. and the Shea. First, I want to get into what STEAM is and what we mean by STEAM when we talk about it at West Essex High School. STEAM stands for science, technology, engineering, art, and math. Okay, we take an approach of taking all of these concepts and ideas that you learn in all these other more specified classes, and we try and incorporate them into fun, real-world projects that students can do both on the computer and by hand. We're hand-based projects that incorporate all of these lessons and help enhance students' understanding of those. You may have heard the term STEM before, and that stood for science, technology, engineering, and math. But many people, including myself, believe that art should be an integral component to that acronym because, especially like in projects such as architecture and other things, you do want to think about what your project and your end result are going to look like and how people interact with the artistic and visual part of your projects. So discussing STEM and STEM careers, there's a lot of information out there about STEM. And STEM is a growing field. It's not just about engineers and it's not just about architects. It's so much more than that. And between 2017 and 2027, it's projected that STEM jobs will grow by 13%. Okay, the median annual wage of STEM occupations in 2019 was over $86,000, and that's compared to a non-STEM occupation, which is around $38,000. One job in the high-tech sector like STEM generally leads to more than 4 jobs in local goods and services. So that could be seen in something like an engineer working on a project, and then when that project is built, you have local goods and services being manufactured for that project, being built, and then the construction that's actually going into that project. Growth in STEM jobs was 3 times greater than non-STEM jobs over the last 10 years. And 48% of all entry-level jobs require a bachelor's degree. So now let's look at some STEAM facts. Okay, so engineering is the most common undergraduate degree of all the Fortune 500 CEOs. So if you are thinking about money and working for big companies, Fortune 500 is what you'd be looking at. So more of those CEOs have engineering backgrounds than any other background. Okay, approximately 1/3 of CEOs majored in engineering. 24 of the top 100 have bachelor's or master's degrees in engineering. You can see there's a whole bunch of people there from Amazon to Microsoft to Xerox, Bloomberg, General Motors. There are even Tim Cook, the CEO of Apple, and ExxonMobil. So those are just some of the major companies that have people in charge of those companies who have engineering backgrounds and degrees. Okay, there are also some pretty famous people who began studying architecture. Okay, you have Samuel L. Jackson, Weird Al, a couple members of Pink Floyd, the rapper Ice Cube, and even actress model Courtney Cox at one point started studying architecture before they found their true callings in entertainment. Okay, even this good-looking guy here, he got his bachelor's degree from the New Jersey Institute of Technology before becoming a high school teacher. Okay, some of the traits that you may need, that you may already have, or that you can learn along the way to becoming successful with a STEM career is somebody who likes to build and fix things, have a general curiosity as to how things work. You have unique ways of looking at the world, okay, something that's a little bit different than other people. You have the ability to think outside the box, so not just looking at the world in a different way, but being able to think differently and approach problems in a different way. You have attention to details. Your passion is to be creative and create things. You are a problem solver, so much so that I put it twice on this slide. Problem solving is the key to all STEM careers. Work well with others in teams. Okay, so not only the ability to be a leader, like we saw with some of those CEOs, but also the ability to work well with others. I know as an architect, you have to work with a number of consultants, from your structural engineers to your interior designers to your HVAC consultants. So you need to be able to work well and communicate with everybody. You have an ability to be practical and understanding. That goes with working in a team. You have a good understanding of technology, as things are always changing, but also you are open to new technology and you actually embrace it and try and incorporate it. You have a skill for management and planning. You are responsible, and you have a desire to create and build things. Okay, those are all important traits. And it's important to say that just because you may not have one of these traits or you're not good at some of these things doesn't mean that you can't learn them or develop them. They're just like any other skill. Just like an athlete needs to practice or a musician needs to practice, you can practice sketching and drawing and doing all these things. And that's what a lot of the projects and classes that I teach are all about. It's getting you to start to work on those skills and develop them. Okay, so currently we have 4 new classes that are being offered at West Essex High School. We have a Foundations of Engineering and Architecture Design, which is a CPA course. We have an Engineering Graphics Honors course, which is about 3D modeling and rapid prototyping. We have an Engineering Design and Robotics Honors course, and we have an Architectural Design Honors course. So these are the 4 that you can take right now. And I'm going to go into what each one of them is briefly. But first, I want to show you the structure on how you can take some of these courses. So if you're in middle school and you're going to West Essex Middle School, hopefully you're able to take some of the STEM classes. Now, I know not everybody takes them, but if you had experience with them and you enjoyed them, then taking these classes in high school would definitely be something worth exploring. Okay, so everybody, once they come into West Essex High School, and if you're interested in STEM, you would take the Foundations course, because obviously that's the reason it's called Foundations. It gives you a basis for all of the other classes going forward. And as you can see from this chart, you can take that from grade 9 all the way through grade 12. So if it doesn't fit in with your schedule in the very beginning, you can work it in hopefully later on. And one thing I should point out is taking the STEM classes in West Essex Middle School or any middle school is not a prerequisite. You don't have to take these classes beforehand. They will certainly help you out, but they are not required to take the Foundations course. Only thing that's required in the Foundations course is having an interest in these subjects. From the Foundations course, you are able to take any one of the other 3 courses. So you can take the Engineering Graphics, you can take the Engineering Design and Robotics, or you can take the Architectural Design. So this is a little bit different than what we've done in years past. In years past, you've kind of had to work up to some of these. What we've done is we've realigned these so that now once you take the Foundations course, you can jump right to any of these other courses. And we're hoping that in the future that there's interest in these courses and we're able to add a level 2. So maybe an Engineering Design and Robotics level 2, Architectural Design level 2, Graphics Design level 2. So that's what we're hoping for in the future. Okay. And since you've already taken that foundation course, if you choose to take one of the other ones, you can certainly take another one at the same time, or you can take it the following year. There's no other prerequisites except for just taking that foundations course. All right. So that foundations course is an introduction to engineering. It's the engineering design process and the concepts of STEAM and hands-on projects. It's a must for students that are interested in any type of architecture or product design or engineering. It provides a foundation for the studies of engineering and STEM pathways. It creates, we work on digital and hands-on projects, as well as enhancing creativity and working through that design process. If you haven't done so in your previous middle school STEM classes, we start an online portfolio where you begin to catalog all of the projects that you work on throughout the course of your West Essex STEAM career. So you end up putting all of your projects up on that website. So when it comes time to start applying to colleges, trade schools, or other advanced learning, you can send them the link to your online portfolio and say, here is what I've done for the last 4 to 6 years in my high school career as far as STEM projects. So it breaks down basically that in the first marking period, students are introduced to drafting techniques and how to communicate their ideas using drawings. So we use some hand drafting techniques, but mostly we focus on AutoCAD, which is used by many architects, engineers, and designers' offices. From there, we move on to engineering design and robotics. So we do a project that would be similar to what's done in that class. So in the more advanced class, typically we do something like a CO2 dragster. So students will design those projects on the computer. They will develop them. They will test them virtually on the computer. And then we will take them from the computer, take the plans that the student has drawn, and the student will create that in a hands-on project. So typically with something like the CO2 dragsters, we will then use some simple woodshop tools, saws, files, sandpaper, drills, and things like that to create the cars. And then we'll actually race them down the hallway in a head-to-head competition to see who is the fastest in the class. So you get an introduction to the engineering, design, and robotics class in the second marking period, typically. Third marking period, we move on to basic 3D modeling concepts using SketchUp and using the Autodesk Inventor program. So we get to learn a little bit about 3D modeling and 3D printing. And then in the fourth marking period, we move on to architectural principles, typically using the Revit program. So we do jump back in AutoCAD a little bit for some of those drawings, but for the most part, students are introduced to the Revit program and how that is used for digital 3D modeling and architectural design. Like I mentioned before, from this class, the foundations class, you can move on to any one of the other classes. Now, in no particular order, I'm going to go through those classes and explain a little bit about them. So the engineering, design, and robotics class, again, is an honors class, so you get honors credit for it. It's an active hands-on approach to solving technology problems in engineering and robotics. Okay, there's an emphasis on contemporary engineering practices, so learning what people are doing in the field now, and working on the design process, working in teams for some of the projects, not all, and obviously the safe use of tools and other technology, which are commonly employed by engineers. Students develop critical thinking skills using an interdisciplinary approach. So we may have projects where we incorporate or bring in other classes to work with us as well. So maybe other science classes or math classes or even business classes. And students have the opportunity to compete in regional and national STEAM competitions. You can see on the side there, you can see there's the STEAM Tank, Technology Student Association, and the Panasonic Creative Design Challenge. Those are all competitions we've competed on in the past, and we've been successful with those. And then below, you can see in red, there's a bunch of projects that we have done in the past and kind of the basic units that we do those projects in. And those vary from year to year, depending on the interest of the students and how the class is progressing. Engineering Graphics Honors. In this class, we continue to develop skills in 3D modeling and printing and the design work that goes into that. Students will go on to become MakerBot certified. So at West Essex High School, we currently have 3 MakerBot printers, 3D printers that we use. And MakerBot also has a MakerBot certification program, which can certify teachers as well as students as becoming 3D modeling and 3D printing certified. So students will have that by the time that the class is over. They will generate effective prototypes and models to provide physical solutions to real-world problems. So these are problems that exist. This begins to get into the concepts of product design. So learning about what clients want and fulfilling the desires of the clients while still creating good, effective, functional products. Topics include fundamentals in engineering graphics, conventional drawing techniques, using AutoCAD, using Inventor, and using SketchUp. Students will learn to effectively produce 3D models and 2D drawings of those models in both SketchUp and Inventor, and will become very fluent in both of those programs. Additionally, students will be given long-term three-dimensional projects throughout the year that they will use to enhance their skills. West Essex is currently working with NGIT to partner with them and in the hopes of creating a concurrent class using our engineering graphics honors class and one of their classes so that students can earn college credit for the work that they do in this class. The details have not been finalized yet, but we're hoping to have that done in the near future. The final class I would like to discuss is the Architectural Design Honors course. So this is for students who are interested in architectural and design or would like to gain employment in the architecture, drafting, or project management fields. I've also had a number of students who have taken this class earlier in their high school career and have gone on to have summer internships in local architectural offices. We focused on the principles, concepts, and use of graphic tools in the fields of architecture, structural systems, and construction. Students will prepare working drawings, including floor plans, elevations, sections, site plans, and project renderings using AutoCAD, Revit, and other 3D modeling software. So since students have learned SketchUp back in the foundations course, they can definitely use that in this course as well. We look to enhance students' awareness of various facets of the architectural field, including construction techniques, historical perspectives, landscape design, architectural styles, building codes, and client design considerations. There are also opportunities in this class as well for students to compete in out-of-school competitions. So those are the courses that we currently offer at West Essex High School in the STEAM field. Again, that's the Foundations of Engineering and Architecture, Engineering Graphics Honors, Engineering Design and Robotics Honors, and Architectural Design Honors. We also offer the Robotics Club, which I am the advisor for. The classroom code is there, so if anybody's interested and wants to check it out and see what we are currently doing, you can certainly do that. The mission of the Robotics Club is to promote student involvement in science, technology, engineering, art, and math, using higher order and critical thinking skills to design, construct, and program mechanical robots for the participation in various robotics competitions, both in-state and nationally. The Robotics Club itself is composed of teams that participate in various competitions. So you can see on the side there, we have a number of different competitions that we compete in. We have a Zero Robotics team, a Panasonic Creative Design Challenge team, we have a North Jersey Robotics team, a VEX team, and we have students that participate in Technology Student Association and in the STEAM Tank. And if you are interested in any or all of these, you can compete on as many teams as you have time to compete in. Okay, so as long as you have the time and you are willing to commit to these teams, you could be on as many as you like. Okay, and they are staggered throughout the year, which hopefully gives students who are doing other things such as theater or band or playing sports, hopefully then there's an opportunity throughout the course of the school year for students to be engaged in one or multiple of these types of competitions. Again, if you want more information about that, you can contact me or you can log on to the Google Classroom and send me a message that way. Thanks for watching this presentation. Again, my name is Tim Shea, and I am the West Essex High School STEAM teacher. My email is tshay@westex.org. And if you want more information about any of these classes or even the Robotics Club, you can log on to my website there. It's sites.google.com/westex.org/Mr-Shea. Thanks again for watching. Hope to see you in some of the classes soon.